Hi everyone, I'm Sherri Morgan, the Transition Specialist for Raleigh County Schools. I'm here to talk a little bit about secondary transition and the changes we're going to see this year in the IEP and everything relating to transition. I'm going to go over these changes during the presentation to help alleviate some confusion. A few of us have been attending West Virginia Guidepost to Graduations meeting monthly here at the Office of Special Programs. Lori Knight is in charge of the West Virginia Graduation Guidepost, and she also heads up our graduation coaches in our high schools. They're there and help our students immensely, trying to raise our graduation rate and trying to reduce our number of dropouts. Transition has been the main focus on the guideposts thus far, and it's been very fluid as things have changed month to month. So we will try to keep you abreast of everything that has been changing in transition. That's our main focus. We have been having meetings here at OSP monthly, and we've also been having a stakeholders meeting, a community in practice, so to speak. They involve our graduation coaches, our community and schools. We have our principals, our counselors, we've had our dropout prevention, and many others from the board office have come over, and we're trying to put our heads together to see what we can do to raise our graduation rate and reduce our dropouts. We've also have a Canvas course that's available free online, and it's available to all of you with your K-12 email. It also goes over a lot of transition things that I will be covering in this PowerPoint. It is way on the website where we go to take all of our other courses. You can log in there. One of the first things I want to talk about is the transition file review that is done yearly. A big change we're going to see this year is with the form itself. You can use this as a checklist to make sure your transition area is compliant. It's correct. There are yes answers and no answers to tell you whether or not it is compliant. In the past, we have had 11 areas that we had to make sure we were correct on. This year, they are dropping. The big change is they are dropping number 11. Number 11 on the form, if you will remember, was the requirement for a signature to be on the PEP. That no longer is on that transition file review checklist. The responsibility of the signature now falls upon the school counselor. The special educators are to make sure the PEP aligns with the student's goals toward education. You want to make sure you want to know what that student wants to do after graduation. Make sure their career cluster, their pathway aligns with that program. Think of it as threading the needle. We are trying to make a clear path to help that student reach their goals. To clarify, the school counselor will be in charge of creating and changing of the PEP. We no longer make changes or create the PEP for that student. You must get in touch with the counselor. If the student changes their mind on what they want to do, if it doesn't align, then you need to make sure the counselor has ample time to change that PEP before your IEP meeting. So make sure you're diligent within that. Talking about aligning the PEP. Well, you might wonder what's going to happen if the junior or senior makes a huge career choice change. If the PEP does not align with the student's goals, this is what you should do. If the student changes their mind as to post-secondary transition, the case manager must meet with the counselor to have the PEP change that will align to their goals. If the student is too far into their credits, causing it to jeopardize their graduation credits, the counselor, case manager, and student parent may decide to leave the PEP as is written, which would cause it not to align. The case manager would then need to document within the IEP, and it can be noted on the PEP as well, stating why the PEP does not match or align so the monitors will understand and we won't get dinged for not having compliant IEPs in the PEP. That would be, for example, if you have a student, maybe it's first year, senior year, they started in welding in their 11th grade year, they've got embedded credits in there, but when they transfer back, it's going to really mess up their credits. They might not be able to reach graduation, the 24 credits we need to graduate. So this would be an example of a time when you would try to, in the additional content, put why the PEP does not match. There are many transition assessments available for you to use with your students. On the West Virginia Guidepost to Graduation site, under Secondary Transition, there's a guidance document listing a huge array of assessments you could use. Not all students are the same, and as such, you may want to use several assessments. We have traditionally given the ONET Interest Profiler, the Student Survey Interview, Parent Survey Interview. Some schools are also using a Learning Styles Inventory that can give the student information on how they learn best. CSWV is also a great source for transition assessments and can be used grades 9 through 12. This is a great site because the portfolio stores everything. You don't have to worry about if you don't get it printed out for you. Also, you must make sure your assessments are individualized using the PINs, preference, interest, needs, and strengths of the student. Not all students are the same. You can use the ONET, CFWV, Learning Styles. The ESTER is for our low incidence population, as is the Reading for Interest Inventory. You've got student and parent surveys that we have to get. Career Clueless, Pathways, West Virginia. Those are other sites that you're welcome to use. Also, remember the Secondary Transition site also gives you a huge list of assessments. The West Virginia Guidepost to Graduation gives secondary transitions assessments. As I was saying, it's a resource bank with many, many choices for our students. The change that we're going to be seeing here, they're asking us to put all your transitions assessments under the informal and formal assessment area on your IEP. And all transitions assessments must have a date given beside it. Don't forget to date it. It doesn't have to be the same date. It could be different dates when you get the student inventory or the parent inventory, when you get the ONET or whatever you choose to use. Make sure that you put the date beside it. The main guidance here is to make sure you're writing these transition goals with active verbs with a statement for after high school or after graduation. Some students may not need an independent living goal, but we usually encourage you to write one. Usually it will state after graduation the student will live independently, but you could have a student who may need more guidance in this area as stated above in the slide. Use active verbs. It can be measured. You want to say the student will attend or will work. You must have an education and training goal, as if they're going to college, career training, educational facility. You want on-the-job training, military. You must have an employment goal. They will be employed as a welder. They will be employed as a civil engineer, or they will be employed through the military services. You also might make sure that you are stating after graduation or after high school. This is indicating this goal is for after they leave secondary schools. The independent living goal, if appropriate, will use they might use a map to take a bus to work. They might need help living in an apartment or will live in the military barracks. They'll use a calendar to schedule doctor's appointments, or they'll keep a budget with an agency assistance. Things of this nature might come about. Here's some examples given through the West Virginia Guidepost to Graduation at the State Department. These examples are for an alternate diploma student. Her employment training goals: in the fall, after exiting high school, Katrina will be employed part-time with a yoga studio. Her employment goal: after exiting high school, Katrina will be enrolled in a modified yoga certification course. Independent living goal: after exiting high school, Katrina will keep track of her daily schedule, as in a work schedule, yoga class schedule, the nights she spends at her father's home, or using a paper calendar with sticker icons to indicate what she is to do that day. Here's an example of a student on a standard diploma going from a transition goal and leading to their annual goal. Again, you remember, we're threading the needle. We have to take our transition goals must lead to our annual goals. How are we going to get our student from this point to graduation after? There are two examples of an annual goal given, and these are all taken directly from the West Virginia Guidepost to Graduation meeting and guidance. For example, after high school, John will be enrolled in a small engine repair certificate program at the local community college. His annual goal: given a mock online checking account, John will calculate monetary expenses and deposits with 95% accuracy. Another would be given direct instruction. John will complete a structured interview tool to be used to prepare for different types of interviews with 95% accuracy. These are more examples of an annual goal from the transition goal. The annual goal is going to be aligned with transition goals, reading or math related goals related to their secondary transition, with expressive language and employment. Given visual prompts or a cue card, Katrina will ask an adult 3 questions, allowing time for the adult to respond to each question with 85% accuracy. An independent living goal might read as given a paper calendar with a month on each page. Katrina will indicate the weather, sunny, cloudy, raining, for each weekday by placing a correct sticker on the square for the day with 85% accuracy. This annual goal is going to align with transition. This is a student on a standard diploma. Her education and training goal, after graduation, Connie will attend a local community college to obtain a certificate or a degree in nursing. Her annual goal may read, by May 2024, Connie will explore 5 careers and 5 schools offering degrees in the field of nursing as indicated on her transition activities log with 85% accuracy. Additional content area for transition. They should be in the present levels under additional contents. Make sure to talk about the assessments used, such as the ONET or CFWV, whatever assessments you are using, the student parent survey. You want to talk about the strength and challenge areas, as well as the post-secondary education goal, post-secondary employment goal, and the independent living goal if needed. Transition is to be written there under the additional content. You want to talk about it in a narrative form. Make sure you're addressing all the areas of strength and weaknesses, and that includes your academic areas, how they are in the community, how they function, and any social skills, whether they have a deficit, do they have good self-advocacy, things of that nature. How are they out in social settings? The results of the assessment should lead into the transition goals for employment, education, and independent living. So an example at the bottom of this slide, Julie took the ONET and scored the highest in the investigative area. She also scored high in the realistic area. Julie's working towards passing all her classes, enrolling in the ACT welding program as an 11th grader, and pursuing an apprenticeship or on-the-job training using her certification after graduation. She wants to work as a welder and live on her own post-graduation. Julie is a visual learner and does best when she can visualize what she needs to do. She can get around town independently, driving her own car. She can self-advocate and has social skills for the workplace. She can discuss and explain her disability in educational settings and in the workplace setting with success. There have been some big changes come about with the summary of performance this year with Policy 2419. Something that they are changing to, it is all now in narrative form. It used to be in a bulleted type form. I fill in the summary of performance at the exit meeting with the student and the IEP team. A change this year, the summary performance, and a current IEP and a copy of the current testing must be given to the student at the time of the exit meeting. The IEP meeting, again, should give the student strength and challenges in academic areas, community living, and social skills. Post-secondary transition goals are aligning with the annual goal. Annual goal is listed under the additional content as well. You want to list these strengths that the student has, whether they are strong in math or they're strong in reading comprehension, things of that nature. What are they strong in? Can they self-advocate? Can they create a budget? Are they able to, handle money? Do they know how to buy things and take care of their person? The student, what's helped the student most in school? What's the best way this student can learn academically, socially? And post-secondary transition goals, you want to make sure they have aligned with your annual goal. We want to make sure the student can get where they want to go post-graduation. Again, the change you're going to see is the location of the assessment data section being written in 2 places. Pay attention to the activities and linkages section, which lead to your annual goal. Minimal compliance is one annual goal. It is risky to write one goal for the career fair because the student may be absent that day, or possibly the career could be canceled. Don't lock yourself into that type of goal. You want to change where we place transition. It's going to be found in the IEP under present levels, PL supplemental, special education, and related services. Accommodations and standard type are listed. They include the accommodations the student uses and needs, the modifications or assistive technology used in high school. Assessment information is found in the current IEP under the Assessment Data section. That is a change for us. You want to include the academic and or functional assessments as well as the transition assessments that you use per this student. You will have to write it under the assessment data section, but then again you will have to write it again where we have always written it on the transition page. The transition considerations are found in the IEP under the following sections: transition activities, linkages, and transition considerations. Include transition services and activities needed for attaining the post-secondary outcomes and outside agencies. You want to have a way for the student to get where they want to go, to meet their goal. So again, the activities that we're going to need to provide to this student to gain this outcome. Division of Rehabilitation has always made a connection or bridging the gap for our students, so we can always reach out if we need to. The diploma types that we have are CTE state approved, which would include your ACT certified students, school-specific student like in the ag program. Some schools have ROTC, some schools have business. You would have to check with your counselor to find out which ones would fall under CTE state approved. Non-CTE program of study, this usually is most of our students. They are either college bound, military, maybe going straight to work in a retail type facility or something of that nature. Now the non-CTI work is going to be explained on the next slide. It's a little bit different. We do currently have the iWork at our ACT center, but currently we don't have anyone participating in the program. The explanation of the iWork program. Before selecting iWork, the students must have initially selected the state-approved CTE program of study option, completed at least 2 CTE courses in their chosen area of career interest, passed all safety exams, demonstrated the ability to acquire basic or core CTE skills at an entry level, but were unable to master all of the required skill sets associated with their state-approved CTE program of study. The iWork is an approved sequence of 4 CTE courses which align to a CTE cluster and pathway that provides the students who have a current IEP the opportunity to gain valuable work readiness through a CTE program of study. Students demonstrate the necessary skill sets for entry-level support jobs in a specific occupational area. Students must be pursuing a standard diploma and be capable of passing 100% of the safety exams for the respective program of study. The Summary Performance Student Perspective. This portion is a collaboration between the student and the adults who know the student well, such as their strengths, their challenges, accommodations, modifications, and it should be included in their additional content. As the case manager or teacher, you will know the student best. I will be calling upon you to take the lead in this area. Be prepared to talk about their strengths or challenges in the areas of academics, community, and social skills. It's imperative that we gather the current address and phone numbers for the student and parents for our one-year follow-ups. If you keep in touch with your graduating seniors, please share this information with me when I reach out in the spring. The summary performance information will assist with the one-year follow-up, so make sure if you have that information that it is correct. These are the areas in the IEP which are used in the summary performance and where we will be looking to find the information on the particular student. Post-secondary goals, written as SMART goals, should be found in the current IEP under the Transition Plan section. Summary of academic achievement and functional performance is found in the current IEP under Present Levels, PL Supplemental, Related Services, and Accommodations. Assessment information found under the Assessment Data section and include academic and or functional assessments and transition assessments. Again, that is also on the transition page. That is a change if you remember. Transition considerations found in the current IEP under transition linkages and activities and transition considerations. What DRS can offer to our consumers. When you hear the word pre-ETS, this means WVDRS. We do not do pre-ETS. The WVDRS and West Virginia Department of Education have an MOU, or Memorandum of Understanding, wherein the WVDRS high school counselors can go into the schools and work with our students. This is why it is imperative when we refer a student that we gain parent-student permission prior to sending the referral to WVDRS. Pre-ETS is what the DRS counselors do with our students. We never do pre-ETS. Our WVDRS counselors are actively going into our schools and having assemblies with classes to explain their program and get referrals, as well as working with individuals in the rooms with students doing the pre-ETS information. And many items are listed above. I'm going to read over them in a second. Such as Anna Stover, she works with our students at SSHS and LHS. She has gone into the classrooms with the AI goggles, and she's doing a lot of research on their work skills, what they need for job search skills, their camps offered. There's many valuable tools that our DRS counselors can work with our students that we are not able to do. While they are in high school, the DRS counselors go over career counseling. They go over guidance, tutoring, testing, career exploration. As I said, they have camps. Many of our students build their own computer and are able to keep the computer to use after high school. After graduation, the DRS counselors work with our students to learn how to write resumes, go over interview skills, post-secondary training, assistive technology, on-the-job training, job search, and job coaching. These are areas that you might want to be aware of. Any outside agency that we try to link our students to, we must first go through DRS. That is our bridge. We're bridging a gap for our students through DRS to other agencies if needed and appropriate. The spotlight's on our School to Work program. We have 2 job coaches in the county. Josh Barton, who works with our students at Woodrow Wilson High School and Shady Spring High School, and Tracy Griffith, who works with Independence High School and Liberty High School students. The work-based locations that we send our students to include restaurants, banquet, conference, clerical, motel, hotel, retail, and grocery stores. This gives our students a wide array of the abilities and what they might need on these certain job sites, and to see what their interests and preferences are. The observations are done on the work sites while students are actively engaged working. It's amazing to watch these students interact with the work staff and be diligent to their duties while they're on the site. Our coaches do a fantastic job utilizing tools to ensure the students first have the skills to do the community learning, but also to maintain data if the student requires a reteach back in the classroom. Josh and Tracy are always working right alongside their students and have a great rapport with our worksite managers. They were a focus group for our HB 4600 training. Tracy and Josh both participated in the focus group training at OSP with the 4600 and were instrumental in helping develop the training. This helped them build relationships with the staff and worksite employees and managers. Both were also involved in helping future training with our RCS staff when we went to Woodrow. Job coaches use data and assessments in the classroom, as well as the STEPS process, to align our students from the classroom to the workplace. All discussions and decisions are based on the data, assessment, and the PINs. If you remember, the PINs is your preference, interests, needs, and strengths of that student. Curriculum and task boxes are used in the school environment to acquire data on each student using rubrics as to their skill level and their knowledge of the workplace skills, which can be transferred when they are ready to go out. Sites are used to explore differing career choices for our students. Some additional information: the students who are participating in our School to Work program at times must go back into the classroom to retrain skills. Coaches use a worksite checklist to assess their skills on the job site. If it is noted they are not progressing, the student will return to the classroom to retrain and gain skills needed for the workplace. Our coaches do a fantastic job interacting with managers and aligning work sites with student interests. They are instrumental in keeping our work sites as they gain respect from both the employees and the managers. Josh Barton has gained a new work site for us this year that we're very excited about, Elevation Sports, which is a great gain for our program. Our School to Work program teaches our students to navigate the work environment, gain leadership skills, collaboration skills, and problem-solving skills, which will transfer to after high school as they are entering adult life. Assessments and notebooks. Josh and Tracy both help their teachers by giving transition assessments such as the ONET, the ESTER, and the Reading Free Interest inventories. This is usually done when school starts every year. They also use the task boxes to help the student learn skills that are needed. They use a rubric they're given with the task box to assess when the student needs to go to a higher level activity. The activity boxes go from beginner to intermediate to advanced level. They have all the boxes categorized by skill level and ability in the OSP office. Notebooks are kept for each student by the job coach, which can also be accessed by the teacher. It has a copy of the assessments, the student information forms for our School to Work program, and that includes the behavior form for job sites, the emergency forms, parent permission forms. These also include forms for the parent gives permission for the student to appear in photo or video when they're on the job site. And we also have our work site checklist for each job site that the student visits. This also has rubrics from the task boxes and any anecdotal notes given by the job coach on the sites. Both coaches are very organized, and this will help us over the last 2 years keep all information in a good working notebook. In the spring before school ends, I visit the work sites and meet with our managers to make sure we are meeting their expectations and working to be aware of any areas that may need improvement. Each year I get raving reports on our job coaches and our students. Our students are gaining invaluable skills on job sites, and some are even extended job offers as they are graduating from high school. These students leave high school with valuable skills to offer to our work sites. They learn how to communicate and work with differing personalities in the workplace, which is vital in today's world. This also helps our DRS coaches as they are helping our students become employed. There are many incentives to employing students who leave our school system with IEPs. But we have great job coaches for our students. Many thanks to both. Josh and Tracy are on the road most days. They each have 2 schools daily, taking one school out in the morning and the other in the afternoon. Both must stay organized and on time to meet the bus at the schools. They work with the school bus drivers in case any change or deviation is needed. They stay connected with me if anything changes or needs canceled, as well as any problems that might arise. These 2 are serious on the job. If you ever see them out with students, it is amazing to witness their work ethic, the skill, and the seamless interaction with the students and the worksite staff. Great job.